起劲，背背。大就背。
アリナミン V ドリンク武田。
Good Thursday morning, everybody. I made a key lime pie. Going to a friend's house tonight, having a get together. I said, I'll make a key lime pie, and this might be the nicest one I've made yet. Even when I've squeezed a bunch of key limes, it's always come out a little pale. So, and I will tell you a little secret. I found this. And, you know, every one that I have done, I've squeezed key limes for, you know, every single one of them, like 1.5 pounds of key limes. This time I found this, Nellie and Joe's famous Key West lime juice from concentrate. And it's even got a, here's what you do to make the key lime pie dealio. Now, 3 egg yolks, a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, and 1/2 cup of the key lime juice. Which was good, but it seemed a little bit runny, so I added some Greek yogurt to it. Even with the 3 egg yolks, it was still a little runny, so I put a 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt in there. Some of these ask for 2 14-ounce cans of sweetened condensed milk, and that's way too sweet. Way too sweet. This one's got a really good tartness to it. And when we make the fresh whipped cream to use tonight, I think it's going to be the best one. I'm quite happy with it. Cooked up really well. It's like 15 minutes in a 375-degree oven. I mean, you bake the crust first. It's 375 at 10 minutes. And it's graham crackers and brown sugar and unsalted butter in a volume mixture. And all of those recipes, the shell recipe is pretty on par with all of the other shell recipes that are out there. It's just like volume. I use 1 full sleeve and then another sleeve except for the last 2 crackers. Because, you know, even those 2 crackers, even, as we know with coffee, you know, 2 extra ounces can be a lot of coffee. And can change your recipe completely. Here's the remnant of what I did last night. So I need to do a lot of cleanup today. I'll go to the gym and then I'll come back and I'll do a lot of cleanup. I bought some new papers. These are white papers. I could have sworn at some point I heard someone say that the brown unbleached papers are the best for coffee because, you know, there's no bleach done and maybe it's a little bit more environmentally friendly. But then I watched a James Hoffman video about a week ago, and he was like, yeah, those brown paper filters, they have a weird taste to them. And I rinse them out every time. And even then they still have a weird taste. So, I mean, it's like, it's hard. Industry stuff moves around a lot. And, you know, it's just hard to keep up with some of this stuff. So this is Chemex. Chemex bonded filters from Chemex, so, which is the device that I use here. So, and these are bleached. I could have sworn I saw somewhere that said, hey, you know, papers should be unbleached. Or, yeah, and brown, and, you know, that's good. But then he's like, yeah, every time I use a brown paper filter, I have to rinse it out because there's a weird taste, and I don't like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember being told that. I remember being told the opposite. But, so I'm out of regular Chemex papers. So I decided I was going to just go ahead and, when I bought new papers, try the white filtered ones. Now this is a pour over, so we're going to do about, can I get 30? Yeah. Sometimes I never know how I'm not a math person, and it's hard for me to guess weights. I'd never take me to a carnival where they have to guess weights. I guess they're the ones guessing the weights, so I wouldn't be the one you'd want to pick for that particular carnival attraction. I don't guess weights very well. Oh, this is going to be... I guess we won't hot start it. We'll just drop it in there. Whoop! Nope. No bean shall escape my wrath. Then I'll put it in here, and then we'll just let it go. Boom! It's a coarse grind, so I don't think it's that much of a big deal. This is a great smelling coffee. I should have introduced it before I ground it up. This is, I assume it's a Quattro, and the coffee cup's supposed to be an O. Volcan, A is a volcano. There's a theme here, so not just a wake-up coffee. They're advertising it as an every time you want a coffee, which is coffee. But a lot of people don't think that way. So Quattro Volcanic Reserve Pacamara Premium, it says. This is a black label, which I guess probably means something. So this is the El Salvador. It is from the San Miguel volcanic region. It is a volcanic coffee. It was grown on the side of a volcano using rich volcanic dirt, just like the Kauai that I've got. This is a 12-ounce bag. It was around $24, $25 at their stand in the market, which I didn't think was too bad for something as specialty and single origin as this is, which is pretty cool. Craft exceptional coffee that fuels every moment of your day, morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. Is there anything else? Yeah, that's just their business statement on the back, and then kind of showing a perfect cup scenario of various different devices. Old-timey hand crank coffee grinder, so on and so forth. So also again, here's the QR code if you wish to scan and learn more about them. And that's the bag. And then they have a best by date, which seems reasonable. I would assume that this has been roasted fairly recently, at least last month. They had flavor tastings there. I'm like, what's your medium? And they're like, it's this one here. And I'm like, okay, we'll try that. And it was pretty nice. They brewed it via percolation, and they had it in carafes to dispense. So, ooh, that was nice and quick, wasn't it? At least it felt quick. So I'm excited to see how this goes. 32 grams there. Get ourselves a nice bloom going. I'm interested to see if this lends any taste. I don't think so. I will say it's a rather more violent gas-expelling coffee than I think I'm used to seeing. And when we add water to it, you'll see that it foams up a lot more. I didn't start a timer, but I would say that that's a pretty good point to continue here. You'll kind of see that it foams up a lot more than I think coffee normally does, that I've had before. And it might just be the type. I don't remember there being this much gas expelling. We're going about 400 grams. There's also something else that I bought. I want to taste this, and then I want to add a thing that I bought as well while we were at. It was a local show. Had a bunch of artisans running around. The Good Way Coffee, brown sugar and cinnamon. They had quite a few of these. So this has brown sugar, sugar and molasses, water, and organic cinnamon. And they're out of Xenia, Ohio. The Good Way, Xenia, Ohio. So at The Good Way Coffee, which I assume is like an Instagram or something like that. It looked and smelled wonderful. It's kind of thick. I'd say that's pretty thick. They say to keep it in the refrigerator. They had a couple of different flavors. The brown sugar and cinnamon kind of jumped out at me. Check out the Instagram to see their other colors and the other places they're going to be around Columbus and the Central Ohio area. This is 5 ounces. I don't know. I want to say it was around $8, $9, $10, something like that. It's a concentrate, so it, oh wow. I guess I didn't swirl it. I should have swirled it and I didn't swirl it, and that's my stupid fault. Got a lot of packing along the sides there. Crater, crater, crater. Oh well. That's all right. It looks brown. I'd say it's extracted fairly well, but still, you know, that's kind of funny. Wouldn't it be nice if, because since I started using the Chemex, I've been using the brown unbleached paper. Wouldn't it be funny if it were like a revolutionary taste change, and I'd have to go through my entire coffee catalog to get the gist of what it actually tasted like, because I messed up. There it goes. Yeah, I didn't swirl it. I didn't give it a swirl. It's really funny though. Look how much it just like fudge brownied all over the paper filter. It feels very sturdy, so I do know that the unbleached ones feel a lot more substantial when they're wet. These ones do feel kind of fragile, but I'm sure they're just fine. They're not going to fall apart like those other ones. Those other ones, they did not last once in that Chemex. It's busted, and my Chemex was just full of grounds, and it was sad. What are our notes? What do they say? Brown sugar, chocolate, caramel, and molasses. Floral fragrances. Is it? Interesting. All right. In we go. Let it sit for a mo and think about what it's done in my Chemex. So tomorrow we leave for Florida. We leave for Florida at night. The flights to get out are weird, and if you want a cheap flight, the cheap airlines only go at a certain time or a certain day, and those days have weird times. And the time when we could leave on Friday was at around 9 o'clock p.m. So it's like, you know, and we're flying out of the other airport in Columbus, not John Glenn, but the Rickenbacker Airport. So I forget how much of a hoopla that's going to be. So we'll see, but we'll be there. I don't know. I would assume it's not as bad as John Glenn, but it is a smaller airport. I believe the airport that we're flying into in Florida is, I believe it's the one that had the wood paneling everywhere, and it looked like Dean Martin was going to pop out any second and start singing either a Christmas song or something about a lewd lady. You know, it was just that kind of a vibe at an airport that doesn't look like it had been updated in a very long time, which is fine. It doesn't matter. It was just an interesting time capsule of the chairs were old, and the like I said, wood paneling on the walls of an airport. I didn't see any shag carpet, but I think the carpet was fairly old. Shag carpet at an airport is not going to survive. Any carpet at an airport is not going to survive. You go to an airport a month after it has opened and the carpet is worn out. So, I mean, they just don't make carpet to last, and they certainly can't find a carpet to last. I can't imagine the kind of processing it would take to find something that won't wear out at an airport. I mean, there's a little bit of a floral smell to that, I guess. It's not bitter. It has a very pleasant taste. I think that the flavors that they picked out here are very normal for a coffee. Molasses, caramel, brown sugar, chocolate, those are all very dark flavors. They're not particularly subtle. I think that that's not a stretch, and I can see where they would get that. It's a lovely cup of coffee, but I'm going to add this. Like I said, it's rather thick. It is supposed to be refrigerated, so it needs to stay refrigerated. It's just a lovely, it's like when you would get French toast at home. It's just that, you know, because at home you can add as much cinnamon as you want to the batter and as much sugar as you want to the batter. So it's like it's a delicious syrup. And I don't really remember how much I'm supposed to put in here. So I'm going to put a lot in here, and then I'm going to do this and regret it. Ooh. Oh, that's actually lovely. I expected it to be overwhelmingly sweet. It's not. That is rather lovely. And they had like 3 or 4 different flavors on their table. And they all looked really nice. It's just that I like brown sugar and cinnamon. French toast, definitely one of my favorite breakfasts when I want to be extravagant about breakfast. It used to be pancakes, but boy, pancakes are so heavy now, and for some reason, 3 slices of French toast go so much better than like 3 pancakes or even 2 pancakes. Pancakes are just so heavy. So heavy. It didn't add a lot of sweetness. It added just enough to where you can get cinnamon and a hint of sweetness. It's not overwhelming everything. It's just, you know, because you can still kind of taste, you can still taste the coffee. People that add that much sugar to their coffee, like a ton of sugar, they're not looking for coffee. They're looking for a sugar delivery device. And it's just, I've seen people go way too far, you know. And I don't just mean movie tropes. I mean, you know, in real life, I'll watch somebody just put way too much sugar in their coffee, or they'll do the sweet and low or the Splenda, and they'll do like 4 Splendas or 4 sweet and lows, and it's like, ugh, it's just way too much sweetener. Even diner coffee doesn't deserve that much sweetener. So this is lovely. Highly recommend you find at The Good Way Coffee. I'm sure, like I said, that's on Instagram. So The Good Way Coffee. This is delicious. It's a wonderful little boiled down syrup. And then we've got Quattro Volcanic Reserve. If you see them at any of your local markets, definitely give them a try. They'll have samples. They'll have samples of everything. They had a really dark roast that dark roast and I don't really get along. The last time I had a dark roast, it was really oily and I couldn't, it really may upset my stomach. This, however, is absolutely delicious. It says small batch. It's small batch, so it's a small batch. I wonder how much weight something has to produce in order to be called small batch. I don't know what the barrier of entry for small batch is, you know, because there's a lot of claims that people put on bags that have not been evaluated by any kind of resource. So it would just be interesting to know what that is. So absolutely wonderful. Highly recommend you get this if you like. It's just coffee. It just tastes like really good coffee. And you can say, hey, I had coffee off the side of a volcano for $25 rather than going for the Kona or Koa coffee from Hawaii that's single origin that's like either $42 a pound or $70 a pound. You know, you can get this for around $25, $26 for a 12-ounce bag, and I drank coffee off the side of a volcano. It's worth the experience. Thank you for watching this week. I really appreciate it. Gone next week. May take the following Tuesday off. Just in case I can't breathe, because we are going into my grandfather's house. We're not staying there overnight, but we will be in there a lot, going in and out of the house to clean it out. My uncle said that the air filters in the house have been changed, so the air quality may be a lot better. However, anywhere there is carpet, it's not been vacuumed in at least 10 to 15 years. So, you know, and they had wood floors put in like 8, 9, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that, which helps to keep down the dust if you clean them. And the last time we were in there before he passed away, they were not, and goodness knows how long it had been since he'd taken any kind of mop or anything, because he always wore socks. So it's not like he's going to know the floor is fuzzy. It's going to be an interesting trip, I think. Hopefully completely and totally uneventful, but we will see. We're going into old people country, so we'll see. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great week next week. I'm thinking about you, and I appreciate you. Have a good night. Bye.
짱? 하나님의 뿌이.
武田